See?
Yes, top of the morning, man. Happy June 1st, man. Happy June 1st. The Motion Chronicles, Motion Radio, Motion Talk. Rocking out with yours truly, Showtime City. Excuses. Just setting my stuff up, man. You know, we about to get to it. Man. Okay. Um, let me set up my music. We doing a little different over here. But first let me get over here to Facebook. Um, get the Facebook going. All right. And then I'm gonna just go into my thesis of the morning today. I got my grass cut already. Handle my handles, right? Put out a little bit of content to upset the algorithm to get the shadow banning going. And then I'm going to check my levels, right? And we're gonna get the cooking. We're gonna get the cooking, y'all. That's what they say. Cook. We're gonna cook. You're gonna cook with a master, though, man. I'm a master chef, man. I'm a master chef. I'm not like these guys. That's why I don't respectfully. I don't want to sit around with them. I don't want to engage with them. We are not the same, right? Let's make sure we're sounding good. Let's get the music dropping, right? We'll go with this one today. There we go. We get real smooth with that right there. We get real smooth with that right there. All right. We switched up the thumbnail. No, give y'all a different thumbnail today. You know. Um, so yeah, yesterday was the fights, man. And I want to say once again, congratulations to the New York Knicks, man. Came up short of making it to the NBA Finals, but we haven't been this far in so long, man. And before I get to a lot of the boxing stuff, I want to say to the people out there that was Nick bashing and saying how they were celebrating. Well, when you been in a city and your team has sucked for so long, and now you're on the cusp and you're doing things, you're gonna celebrate, man. So for those of y'all that was out here commenting, especially foreigners, that's what I call out of towners. I'm gonna start calling y'all foreigners, man. You know, everybody has pride from where they're from and for their sports teams. At least they should, right? So I just think that was the New York pride, man. Like I said, the Knicks ain't really been rocking like that in a long, long time. And, it gave the fan, the supporters, real supporters. See, a lot of people not supporters, man. They don't know what it is to support nothing. They don't know what it is to believe in nothing. So they don't get it. But I understand. But yeah, once again, congratulations to the Knicks, man. Great year. We was right there. Just make a couple of adjustments. We'll be right there again. But they didn't even expect us to get this far. They did not expect us to get this far. But not only did we get that far, we made it. We made it almost to the finals, man. Now, if you hear a lot of noise, man, I told you the parade is going on in about 2 hours. So you're gonna hear a lot of floats and everything they're setting up. But we are all set up here, man. So without further ado, let's get to the motion. So last night was the fights, and we're gonna unpack real slow and smooth with it, right? So the fights was last night. It didn't go as scripted, right? Did not go as scripted. Caleb Plant was upset. Maul Charlo, Big Maul, he won. We'll get to him too. He won. He beat a promoter, man. Shout out to Cornflake. He's a promoter, man. He fights, but if you know, Cornflake gets a lot of money promoting fights and stuff on the East Coast over here. But Charlo defeated him, and like they do, he, to me, is out of body, right? That was the word they use now too, out of body. He's out of body. Like, bro, you really didn't fight a world-class fighter, man. Like, knock it off, man. But we'll get to that. I'm gonna play his audio and a lot of his stuff. Like, dog, come on, man. You had the perfect opponent, man. You had a guy, like I said, no knock on Cornflake. He's not a elite fighter, man. He's not an elite fighter, man. He won in there, gave it his all. Tough guy. Dropped numerous times, right? But he didn't pose no serious threat. It wasn't like a Caleb Plant opponent fight, right? They would have been, like I said earlier, right? They would have been better off giving you the Hernandez Davis guy. But I think they fought at 160. I don't know. But it wasn't found up. But Cornflake was, if you would have lost to Cornflake, and like I said, respectfully, shout out to Thomas. He's a great promoter. But had you lost to him, we probably would be on here telling you to pack it up. It's over. Pack it up. But you won. And then you're calling out Canelo. Like, all right, you stopped Cornflake, but you think that titles you for a Canelo fight now, man? That's why I said you should have fought Caleb Plant, man. And now had you beat Caleb Plant, right, and called out Canelo, maybe the tune would be different. But you let him take a tune up, and he got tuned up. That could have been you tuning him up. But that just goes to show you about the scripts over there, how these guys really don't believe in themselves. A lot of these guys are inactive. They're not fighting nobody. They have a whole, shout out to my man Bernie the Boxer. Bernie the Boxer would say, you have a whole resume of fluff. It's a lot of fluff over there, man. Y'all know what fluff is? Huh? Does anybody know what fluff is? How am I sounding, by the way, man? For the one person that's in here, oh, there's somebody in here. How am I sounding, man? Let me see. I didn't even check my own audio. Let me check. How am I sounding, man? How am I sounding? Because y'all sit over here air hustling. Well, I sound clear. Like I said, y'all sit over here air hustle, right? Won't drop a comment, right? Won't say good morning. Now, if I was walking my dogs or in my machinery, I'll get all type of, comments and Beetlejuice, you're this, you're that, all that weird stuff, right? But like I said, I'm not in my equipment. I'm actually building on the brand and the source, so they won't do that. So upon knocking off Thomas LaMotta, right? Congratulations to both of those guys. They made their money. I don't think nobody was seriously injured. They lived to fight another day. But let's get to some of the audio, y'all. Let's get to some of the audio. Do I need to put a disclaimer up? Should I put a disclaimer up, y'all? Let me know, man. Should I put a disclaimer up? Or is this fair share? This is fair share, right? I don't need a disclaimer, right? I don't need a disclaimer for this, right? Nah, right? You're saying no, right? No disclaimer, right? This is courtesy of Fight Hype TV. This is the press conference.
I look at the step that I'm taking at this moment. I'm not.
This is Jamel Charlo post-fight interview, press conference.
Trying to say is I look at the step that I'm taking at this moment. I'm not overlooking anybody in the division. To be honest with you, at this moment, I think the best move for my career, I'm 35, and time is racing, whatever y'all want to call it, I'm still having fun in the sport. I still got a lot more fights to go. I think that I should just keep fighting, and hopefully I can get the Canelo fight.
All right, let's dissect that real quick. So, the steps that he's taking just for a Thomas Lamont conflict, the steps that you're taking, that will be considered a tune-up fight. Time is wasting, or you're not wasting time. You want the Canelo fight. Nothing wrong with that. You're 35. I dig it. I can see where you're going. The Canelo fight is probably the biggest, most lucrative fight. But do you think coming back beating a cornflake, you deserve a Canelo fight? That's my question. And for those that's going to watch the content, listen to the content, maybe you guys can answer that. But does he deserve a Canelo fight defeating a Thomas Lamada, right? Does he? Well, let's get to some more of his source.
Maybe I can get the Canelo fight. I mean, when y'all want to see that, I'd rather fight Canelo than plan.
One more question for Jamal Charlo. Final question. Jamal, over here, congratulations on the win. That was actually my question to you in regards to Canelo. You talk about a missed opportunity for Caleb. You didn't hold up to his end of the bargain. You did. In 2023, you were close to getting the Canelo fight, but you weren't ready. Why do you deserve it now, and what do you need to do to get it?
I was ready. It just wasn't the time. The time wasn't.
You was ready. It just wasn't the time. If you were ready, why didn't you take the fight? You wasn't ready. You were, doing what you do. You was on psychedelics. You was getting drunk. You was high. You was all these things. So you was not ready. That is a false statement, Moore. That is a false statement. If you was ready, your brother would have never took the opportunity, and it would have been yours. So that is a false statement, Big Moore. I just wanted to clear that up because you said it and you was not ready.
It's all about the time. Like you said, that's what we talk about, right? It's all about the time God gives us, bro. Look, I'm not tripping on the Canelo fight. If it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. You know what I mean? At 168, I want to become a world champion at 168 for myself, for my legacy, for my kids. And other than that, let's just let it flow. I just want to be great and, go down in history as like one of the greats that ever did it. And I want to fight Canelo. I want to fight Plant. I want to take those big fights. Get there.
You want to go down as one of the greats that ever did it. But you got to fight people that are great. Now, when we look at your resume, are there any great names on there? Are there any great names on there? I had to sip on my coffee on that, man, because I had to just really take that in what he said. He wants to go down as one of the greats. But on his resume of fighters, who's a great name that you're going to say, yo, that was a great guy? Julian J-Rock? J-Rock? Former unified champion, almost undisputed junior middleweight champion. Who else? Jose Benavidez. Who else does Maul Charlo have? That he's great, one of the greats. He said he wants to be one of the greats. Who else is on that resume that wants him to be one of the greats? Anybody? So when I hear that statement, I'm like, man, it sounds good. It just sounds like more PBC narrative push, right? Like, you want to be great. You didn't fight Benavidez. You didn't fight Caleb Plant. At middleweight, who did you fight? I know you had your ordeal. You know, you were battling mental health and other things. You never unified at 160. I don't get it, man. Like, this guy says he wants to be great, go down as one of the greats. Right now, both of their careers ended, and neither one of them took another fight. I think Mel, your smaller brother, I was gonna say your younger brother, your smaller brother, even though y'all are twins, the one that campaigns at 154, he will be considered greater than you. Because when you look at your accolades and accomplishments, granted, you are a 2-division champion, you're still undefeated, but your brother was undisputed. He basically cleaned out a division, something you did not do. Now, you are talking about capturing a title at 168, which would make you a legit 3-division champion. But to me, when I look at your legacy, the names, the guy that you beat, I don't see nobody where it's like, yo, Maul was a step up. Maul was a world beater. Maul was a conqueror. He was just taking guys out. He was like Julian Jackson. You remember, Julian Jackson? Man, Terry Norris. Granted, Terry Norris was a little older, but he was taking out hitters. And you'd be like the Hawk. I got the Hawk in my office, man. I got that autograph, Hall of Fame. Have all that, man. I made sure I got that when I went to the Hall of Fame. He was one of my favorite middleweights. The Hawk. He had God-gifted power. This power, man. Speaking of the Hawk, right? You guys ain't gonna be able to see it, but you can hear it. I'll let you hear it. This is the Hawk.
It's great.
This is the Hawk right here. The Hawk was a knockout artist. Look. Second round. Yeah, that's when the Hawk put him down. Second. Dynamite, man. Look. That was the Hawk right there. The Hawk used to put things to sleep, man. Now, he was great. He was great. We're talking about one of the greats. He was great. I don't get that vibe from you, Maul. Like, you should have fought Demetrius Andrade. You like, there's guys you could have beat to really have that conversation. But when we look at it, like I said, no knock on conflict. You have a lot of conflicts on your resume, man. You have a lot of guys that you said boxing is scripted, man. You have a lot of scripted opponents, man. Guys that you should have knocked down the first round. You can carry and things of that nature, man. How is the content looking now, man? But I dig it though. You want Canelo Alvarez, as so does everybody else. But Canelo Alvarez has other things going on. Him and Terrence Crawford. But I dig it. You're older, 35. You did waste a lot of years. But congratulations on your victory. Glad to see you back in the ring, earning money for your family. But we'll see what's next, man. Maybe fight the winner of Edgar Berlanga Hamza Zarad, or fight the other young boy down there in Texas, Ammo Williams, right? Or did Ammo drop back down the middle? There's fights out there if you don't get Canelo, but you need to step it up as far as and like I said, no shade towards Cornflake. Great promoter, great guy, gets the money, gets the bag. It's like he did last night. He got the bag. But if you want to be great, Charlo, and have people say that you're one of the greats, you got to step up the competition, man. Just saying. But hey, what do I know, man? What do I know, right? How is the content looking now? All right, let's stay on that card. Let's get to Caleb, man. Caleb, like Jamal said, Caleb dropped the ball. Caleb dropped the ball, man. He just didn't look like himself. I think Caleb Plant is the latest, greatest of what we have come to realize with the Premier Boxing Champion. And I say this respectfully. These guys were inactive. These guys, it's like anything in life, right? Now, you see what I do, guys? Every day I'm not in a loader, but I make it my business on occasions, right, to jump in the loader and play around and do certain things, right? Because when you are inactive at whatever you do, whether it's basketball, baseball, football, fighting, you're a driver, commercial truck driver, you are a heavy equipment operator, you are a engineer, you're an electrician. If you don't constantly practice your craft or your profession and you don't do it, you get rusty. That's why a lot of these guys always say, yo, why you always fuck with the speed bag? Coordination, eye-hand coordination, right? Now, if I don't do it, I'll lose it, right? You got to stay active. Are y'all following that? A couple of y'all that's in the building, share the content, like the content. But yeah, so Caleb Plant is just the latest of it. And he won there against a guy that was hungry, a guy that seen his opportunity, knew that Caleb Plant was a trophy. Yes, he was a trophy. And now this guy has that trophy, right? Because Caleb Plant is a former champion, world champion, IBF world champion. Caleb Plant is also a guy who has a loss to Canelo Alvarez, also has a loss to David Benavidez, right? So he's a trophy, and this guy knew that. And now he has Caleb Plant as a trophy, name on his jacket. And he did not go with the script. He fought a gritty, hungry fight. And I think Caleb Plant, I don't think he works for Larry Wade no more. But I do remember he used to be with Larry Wade. Shout out to my guy, Larry Wade, man. Y'all know Larry. Larry's my guy, right? Good guy. Interviewed him in person many times. I was there when he won his, this is I got to get a new drop from Larry, right? Because this drop right here is kind of outdated, right? When I think about it, right?
Hey, this is Coach Larry Wade, IBL Champions. Hey, I train professional boxers, and you with Sauce Talk Podcast. You don't want to miss anything that he puts on here.
Appreciate you, champ. You know the vibe.
I think now he has 10. Because that fight week right there is when Robeisy Ramirez became his 10th champion. Yes, that was in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We was all on the same card together. Robeisy went out there and beat the African, Isaac Dogbay. Remember Dogbay? Yes, Isaac Dogbay. See how I could throw names out there? It's a different type of vibe over here, man. It's a different vibe, a different energy. No Jealous Fan Zone Inc., man. Motion talk. But yeah, when he was with Larry Wade, strength and conditioning coach, former track athlete, elite track athlete, his conditioning was a lot better. I don't know what him and Bradman got going on, right? Maybe they need to switch up, right? But you know what? There's a lot of times this, if you know about boxing, right? A lot of these guys, these coaches, these different people, it's like a revolving door. We always see certain guys or the coaches and involved. It's just boxing. This is the setup, right? But a lot of times it's time for fresh blood, man. It is, and I think that's why they don't like me, because I speak on that too much, and I stand on that, because I be saying to myself like, yo, a lot of these guys aren't it. They're not it, right? But yet they are always in the lane, so to say, but they're not it, right? We watched that with the great Freddie Roach, right? Freddie Roach, all these fighters, Manny and all these guys, right? Because he was Freddie Roach. But it's like, okay, at some point he's going to get old, right? If you're not passing on the teachings like he did with Michael Mora. But it's like, at some point, all of these guys that are coaches and trainers, and I think I upset some of them when I was like, yo, I can't wait to go up against them. Right? Because I look, remember I talked about Derrick James, and look what happened. It took Bomac and them to really expose him. But when I was exposing him, a lot of his flaws, his coaching defects, incompetence, I was deemed a hater. Because who am I, right? Who was I? Who am I? But y'all know who I am now. But at the time, it was like, who am I? How dare I talk about this guy? I'm a YouTuber trying to do views. I'm mad. I can't come to the gym. I'm mad. I'm trying to be, like I said, a media guy. No, I come from a real boxing cloth. I think my cousin is probably one of the best coaches in the game right now. And a lot of the European fighters, Eastern European, and those guys over there, even the Middle East guys, they know it. That's why they get the tutelage and the teachings from Buddy McGirt. Yeah. So I know what I'm looking at. I know what I'm speaking on, right? But, you let these guys put a jacket on you. Bitches suck dick just to get to the top, right? They classified me as something that I wasn't. But Bomac went out there and took him to school. Him, Red, well, let's not forget Red, Spikes, and Saul, and Bernie the Boxer, because that's a unit out there. They took him to school, man. Embarrassed him. Broke his style down, embarrassed him. Right? All his fighters left him. Frank Martin spoke on this a little bit yesterday. Mel had to go get with my guy, Juan, Kalo K. Right? But these are facts, man. That's no shade, but that's just the game. I think a lot of times, real coaches and teachers, they don't get their accolades, because a lot of times, if you notice the system in the game of boxing, the real gems are always hidden. The real, you want to be famous, right? Shout out to CEO on the side. The real gems are hidden. The real players. It's just like with this YouTube shit, right? With content creating, you get a group of jealous fans, right? These niggas know you have a catalog of fire, right? They won't mention you because they don't want you to be known. But meanwhile, you're known already. But that's just the crab in the bucket mentality. That's a life mentality, man. Guys will always try to keep the plug, or what I call the source, hidden. And boxing is the biggest thing when it comes to coaching and teaching. That's why you be like, damn, this guy gets all the fighters. So let's see what Caleb does, though. Because Birdman and him, maybe they have run their course. He didn't look motivated, right? He just looked like he didn't look like himself, man. And maybe he can get back. Well, Larry Wade is doing it big right now. I don't think Larry Wade is with Jake Paul, so he's eating real different right now. But when he was with Larry Wade, he had a better gas tank. His gas tank wasn't always, like a Jihad Tucker. One thing I can say about Jihad, they want Jihad to get a new team and all these things, but Jihad has a gas tank. Jihad doesn't have that problem, but he needs a new team. He needs better coaches. What Jihad really needs right now is the content creators who wanted to do what I do. Where's the content at, man? This is June 1st. He's fighting June 21st. Where's the content at, man? All you guys that always talked about my content and what I would do in the game, where's y'all content at on them right now? I haven't put nothing out, and I did it for a specific reason, just to show you could never do what I do. You're not on my level, on my Joe Dini's voice. I will punch you in your throat. You are not on my level, right? But where's the content at, though? A lot of y'all always talked about my content, the quality of it, the things I do. I don't see none of y'all putting nothing out. I think World Combat Sports might have did a live stream on a reaction that Millie City did. That's probably the only thing that I have seen. And I think shout out to Just Do Boxing when the fight was first announced and we got the cheese. He was like, up that cheese. All right, I'm back, y'all. That was a call, man. My phone rings, y'all. Damn, I forgot what I was saying. I just lost thought because that phone call. Oh, about Jihad. Yeah, shout out to Just Do. I see he put out some content. But other than that, no content, man. No content. But I told you what you guys was waiting to do. You was waiting for me to put something out. And this is what you guys do. No jealous fan zone. Bum boxer mentality, niggas. Y'all would have tried to go behind my work. No, put your work out, man. See, you niggas are not official that sit online and just talk boxing. You don't do nothing. And then you watch somebody like me and you think it's easy. Not only do you think it's easy, you think that you could do it because I make it look easy, but you don't know the effort that I put in. This cause I don't waste my sleep. One thing about me, when it comes to doing all the graphics and shit, I look at it like I'm not wasting my time with that because I know all this shit is smoke and mirrors. It's smoke and mirrors. It's a smoke screen. And that's why you guys that do all of that take all that time trying to put up a thumbnail and doing all these things, and then you don't even get access to cover a fight, go to a fight, work a fight. You are a jealous fan because you say, damn, this guy doesn't do none of that. Yo, I spend hours putting a green screen and all this shit up, and nobody acknowledges me. Because that's not the real thing. The real thing is being really hands-on involved. Go to the gym. Go help a fighter be developed. Make some phone calls behind the scenes like my phone just rung. Really push the line. Get offline. Push the line, man. Hopefully y'all caught that sauce right there. But yeah, so this fight is, 20 days away now, man. I don't see no content. You know who I do see getting a lot of pushing content? Chuck Simpson, man. Chuck Simpson. But I wasn't surprised. Now I'm gonna speak on it that he got beat up like that. Caleb Plant, I'm speaking on that. Because remember, I told you Jihad sparred him. So now, if I say Jihad mopped the floor with him, am I capping? Yo, am I capping now? Right? Am I capping? There's 3 in the building. Somebody say good morning. You don't have to comment on the content, right? But if I said Jihad mopped the floor with him, right? Right? Am I capping? We just watched the guy put the bees on him, right? So if I said when Jihad was sparring with him to get ready for his fight in April, he mopped the floor with him. If I would have said it then, I would have been capping, right? So now if I say it now, is it valid? Right? See? These are the things that y'all sit online debating and arguing with people that really actually know things in boxing. Edgar Berlanga was calling him out for a reason. Edgar Berlanga was confident wanting to fight him for a reason because he probably knew that Caleb was rusty. He probably knew that Caleb ain't on how he used to be, right? But you guys that sit online and talk boxing always have no clue what really goes on. That Caleb Plant that fought last night. It's 3 in the building, man. Somebody answer this, man. The Caleb Plant that we watched fight last night. Do you think Edgar Berlanga would have beat him last night? Now, y'all know their history, right? You know they sparred. You know they had history. Do you think that Edgar Berlanga dropped him in sparring when they were much younger? Do you think Edgar Berlanga would have beat that Caleb Plant last night? Because I know a lot of y'all was saying that he was capping and all these things that he can't fuck with. He can't fuck with Caleb Plant with sweet hands and all that. But we watched a guy who turned it up on him, man. He had Caleb hurt a couple points in that fight. Do you think he would have Edgar Berlanga would have beat that Edgar Berlanga? I mean, that Edgar Berlanga would have beat that Caleb Plant last night, man. I think so. I think Edgar Berlanga might have stopped him, man. I think if Edgar Berlanga landed those same shots that guy landed on Caleb Plant, Edgar would have stopped him. Edgar hits much harder than that guy. Much, much harder. And that guy was landing what we call bombs on Caleb Plant last night. On Caleb Plant. But let's get to something, Caleb. You know, shout out to Caleb, man. Hold your head. For whatever it's worth, they can't erase what you were. They can't erase what you were. You will always be a world champion. You will always have that status. But I like what he said. That's why I respect Caleb Plant. Listen to his. This is the post-fight part of what he said.
It's a great fight tonight. Close fight. Felt like it could have went either way, but it's led by the sword, not by the sword. The judges have seen it how they've seen it, and I'm not the type to make any excuses. I left no stone unturned this camp. Put it all in. Made a lot of money for camp. Did a lot of work, a lot of running. And
Stop. He said he did a lot of running.
Here, said my piece, came to see you guys, and I still getting a lot of love from the fans, and I think I've earned their respect over the years. And obviously, right now I'm just disappointed. So
he just wasn't there. I like what he said though. No excuses. He said he did a lot of running, maybe short distance running. Your stamina's not there. I don't know what type of running you did. I don't know. Because to me, you're like I said, I don't want to disrespect you, but boxing talk, you're a front runner. You are a Kentucky Derby front runner. Not as a fighter, I just mean like you do your best work early in the fight. That's what I mean by front runner. Let me clear that up. Because you guys take my sauce and run with it, right? Front runner Not meaning that he's not a good fighter. I mean that he's gonna put his best work in the first half of the fights. Then the back nine, the home stretch, he runs out of gas. So what type of running were you actually doing? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What type of running were you actually doing? Right? Because to me, if you were running, literally running, like, putting in road work, you should have a better gas tank. But, to each his own, man. But shout out to you, man. I respect you. You're a man's man. But Charlo said that you fucked up the bag. No, he fucked up the bag, right? Because he ran his mouth, right? Keep running your mouth, right? You lost. You didn't get the decision. But if he didn't run his mouth, and I got to put this out there, right? If he didn't run his mouth and say about fights being scripted and this, that, and the third, you see what they was on. You would have got the decision. It was a split decision. But they couldn't do it now. They could not do that because this guy ran his mouth. Yeah, he ran his mouth and he talked about fights being scripted. He talked about
My name is Dinga.
He talked about fights being scripted, right? Look, let's play it. He talked about fights being scripted.
Yeah, it's a little scripted because when I was with my name out there, I was fighting my boss said like 50. Don't knock him out in the first round. Like, so what if I'm not I never played the system. I do what I do. But this every day. Sometimes take time. You don't think about it all.
See, he ran his mouth. Now, if he would have just stayed quiet, they was going to give you the decision. It was right there. You see, split decision. But now if they gave because this is boxing. Shit like that happens all the time. Shit like that happens all the time. But he ran his mouth. Scripted. All right, man, me and Caleb gonna fight next. Shut up. You see what Timothy Bradley said, snitches get stitches? This guy ran his mouth. So did Caleb fuck up the bag or did you fuck up the bag? Running your mouth. Boxing is a dirty game. They would have gave him the decision. They was gonna give it to him. Or it would have been a draw. But you talking about fights being scripted and this, that, and the third, you talk too much. But they said I talk too much. How is the content looking now?
Yes, this is the Sauce Talk with Keyshawn Davis.
The Sauce Talk, okay.
First off,
Yes, the Sauce Talk, man. How's the content looking now, man? How is the content looking now, man? Yeah, Charlie, you fucked the bag up. You ran your mouth too much this week. And it backfired. It backfired. Because Caleb went out there, he did not look his best. And he didn't win the fight. So what's next? He said he has a rematch clause. Any of you guys seen that? He has a rematch clause, so he's looking to run it back. And I think what kind of was that a secondary WBA belt they fought for? Yeah, the PBC is synonymous for that, man. These guys always fighting for titles, world titles. And it's like, yo, dog, isn't Canelo Alvarez undisputed? I guess that's like a secondary, or is it an intern? What was that last night? Because I know they said he was the new WBA. I'm like, doesn't Canelo got all the belts? Is that like an intern or secondary? What kind of belt was that? Does anybody know? Anybody in the chat? Feel free, man. Feel free. Let me see. Maybe my comments aren't showing. Let me look. Man. I know they do that, man. It might be some comments up there. They just don't be showing it. Yeah, shout out to WCS. I see a comment. WCS said, morning. Good morning. See, look, you see how they do? They be hiding my comments, man. You know what? I think they're so mad. And I'm gonna play something. This is why, we killing the game, man. I think this is why they're mad at me. Social media, I'm saying, especially YouTube, is because I carry it like this. Pay attention to this. Sean G. Pay attention to the message.
Without confidence, you ain't got nothing. Without confidence, you ain't got no life. You understand? Especially if you a dude. What you wanted to be. Without no confidence, man, you ain't got nothing. You need that. If you ain't got none, you gotta develop some. If you had some and lost it, you got to get it back. But one thing's for sure, two things for certain. Without confidence, man, nothing is achievable. With confidence, nothing is impossible. You could do anything, man. I'm playing Harlem, man. Oh.
I think that's why they're mad at the source. I have too much confidence. And you know what they always tried to do? They tried to kill my confidence. Oh, nobody watches you. But I was doing big things in real life. Confidence, right? A lot of times when you are confident, shout out to Sean G podcast, a soul. You have confidence, you just carry it different. And I think my confidence is too much, especially for the No Jealous Fan Zone Inc., the bum boxing community, the guys that have to link up and secretly try to, can't stand alone, man. Suckers can never stand alone. But you know who can stand alone? A real hero, a real person with confidence, somebody that is really walking with God. The news by Shanewz. Hopefully you caught that. So how is the content looking now? Get your confidence up, man. Get your confidence up. And speaking of confidence, next week, man, next Saturday, Top Rank, Norfolk, VA, the Davis brothers, Troy Isley, Abdullah Mason, Tiger Johnson. That's going to be a great card, right? Especially what I seen a lot of content. Now, look, this is just a freestyle right now. This wasn't even in my notes or in there, but Abdullah Mason has been on the block. Shout out to Cleveland. East 99 is where you're from. It's looking at yo. Cleveland is the city where we come from. So run. Yes, that was Bone Thugs, man. We're not against rap. We're not against rappers, but we are against those thugs, right? It's the thuggish rugged bone. But yeah, so Abdullah Mason has been on the block, the YouTube block. He's popping his sauce about Keyshawn and Shakur. This is a big step up fight for him. Appetite for smoke is what he goes by. Appetite for smoke. And when you see his uniform and you see those patches, 15 racks, y'all. 15 racks a patch. Holla at me. I can work something out for you. But 15 racks for the sponsorship for Abdullah Mason. If you're interested, serious inquiries on, hit me up. I'll work something out for you. Now, you go behind my back and try to do it on your own. It might be more than 15. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Get with me. I can do it for 15. And you go directly to Ab, he might tell you 25. That's what I try to tell you. When you fuck with the plugs. If you know a plug, you with a plug. But if not, hit him up. See what he says. But shout out to him. Abdullah Mason is making noise right now. You know, he said he'll fight Keyshawn, he'll fight Shakur. He will. He will, right? One thing, if you don't know about Abdullah, he's been in there with Shakur Stevenson sparring. He's a confident young man. And he's coming into his own circle of life, the Pride Land. How is the content looking now, y'all? Well, I can't wait for that card. After this card right here, and it's not a knock on Top Rank or PBC or none of that. Like I said, but way before I did business with Top Rank, I never really did business with PBC, but I was a big PBC supporter. I no longer am like that. I can admit it. But just watching how they still conduct business as somebody that was around it, it's still the same. I watched it last night. Big entourages, the fluff, smoke and mirrors, overhyped shit. Like, come on, man. That shit was overhyped, man. It is what it is. I think there's charades. Shout out to Leon Muhammad. The Hollywood charades is over, man. A lot of your fighters will get wiped down right now. The PBC fighters will get wiped down. They're not it right now. They haven't been fighting. They're inactive. The people that you employed, whether through your Premier Boxing, Champions Company, and TGB Promotions, and the YouTube channels that you got, they're not it anymore. They never was. And now it just trickled all the way over. The narratives don't work. These guys fighting, they're not that good because they're inactive. It's just like what I was saying earlier. If you don't do something enough, you get rusty. These guys don't fight enough. They're not active enough. And when you're at the elite level, the highest level, you have to really be active, man. You can't look, man. I know I talk my shit, but I'm active. When you don't do nothing and you just sit around, this is like these content creators. If all you're doing is just sitting around, conducting an online gathering, that's not activity. That's not activity. That's why if you don't notice with some of these guys that you think is it, what do they do when they go cover a fight week? And shout out to my man. I don't know if WCS is still in here, but ask WCS. WCS talked about this. WCS talked about this when he said, the guy about fucking the boys, right? This motherfucker went and covered an event and was like, oh, I'm tired. Nigga, you ain't even do nothing. But when you just sit online and sit on your green screen, you don't really know how to work nothing. You did. You didn't even really do an event, man. You did absolutely nothing and was tired. That's how I know certain guys aren't the goods when it comes to being frontline media workers. See, I always said this and I stand on this. I was never a content creator. I am a motion maker. And with the motion, I employed many M's: media, marketing, and management, right? But I get to the motion. You guys wanted me to be what you are. Sit around, graphic designers, computer geeks, all of that. No, I'm not. That's why I try to show you my everyday life. I go to work. I work with men. I move equipment around. I drive trucks. I raise a family. I'm not sitting on my ass waiting for somebody to give me something. I'm going to take mine. And if you knew me from back in the day and shit got real, I would really take mine. But now I try to move honorably and respectful. But a lot of times these suckers, these squares, these gatekeepers, they want to see that side of you. And then when they find that side of you, they can't handle it. How is the content looking now? Bitches suck dick just to get to the top. I put 100% in everything I got. Shout out to the queen. That was the queen's balls right there. Lil' Kim, right? Fireballs. I don't think she wrote that. Somebody probably wrote that for her because that was some fire right there. That was some fire, man. I'm closing in on my hour, y'all. I gave y'all my early hour. I'm definitely going to chop this up. How is the content looking now, man? How's the content looking now? We'll take a little feedback. We'll take a little feedback right now, man. This is the smooth sounds of the motion. Smooth sounds of the motion, man. Let me just place another inspirational piece real quick before I close out. Listen to the vibes on this right here. Catch the energy.
Happy Saturday, all of you guys are having. I want to touch on something. I truly believe laws of attraction is real. What you speak life into, what you put out there in the universe, it comes back to you. I'm not saying it comes back overnight, but I truly believe it comes back to you. And that's just me speaking on my experience.
Man, shout out to her. You heard what she said? That's just her speaking on my experience. So a lot of times when I spoke on my experiences, I spoke it into light. I said I was going to get a fighter sign. I did it. I did it. I said I am not a content creator. I am a motion maker. I did it. I did it. Right? I did it. I went from doing no views to being all on ESPN countless times. I went from doing no views and guys talking about me behind my back, saying I'm not solid, to being on top rank ESPN, my government name, Shalom Jones, with the title Media Marketing Agent. I spoke it into existence. And now I have a official LLC, a nonprofit, No Jealous Fan Zone Inc. I spoke it into existence. So a lot of times the tongue is power. And your vision, fuck the views. Because all these clowns do views. And they do the views in a circus. But the people with the vision run circles around their views. And that is the real reason why they don't push my content. Because they know if they push my content and the real people get a vintage of views of my vision, not only is my vision a reality, I have the products, I have the merchandise, I have the Seymours, and I also have the qualifications, whether you need media work, marketing, management, security, or you just need some good old godly advice and experience. But hey, what do I know? How is the content looking now? And for all you squares, suckers, sideline punks that talked about me and mine, why don't you show you and yours actually getting to something? Because I not only have been showing it, I have been doing it with minds, from media work to photography to now even entertainment.
One day you'll get your palate used to that raw fish. Gotcha. What's that? What else you got for me?
What's your favorite place to go?
Favorite place to go is the beach. I love the beach, yo. Anywhere there's a beach nearby, I love to go there, relax, walk along the beach, barefooted, get my feet dirty. Yeah, no doubt, stick my foot in the water. I don't go in the water though. There's sharks and stuff in there. Nah, I don't mess with that. All right.
Setting it up, coach. All right, let Jahar go now. Let Jahar go. Nice. 1, 2. Bring him back to the castle. Back to the castle. Yep. Move him around. Yep. 1, 2. Back to the castle. Yeah. Work. Bring him back up. You got.
About 8.5. Yep.
Been boxing for a long time. He's been boxing for a long time. He's 17 now. Now ask me the other question about the TV.
What is it like to be on TV?
It feels great. At first I got nervous, but now it's like, it feels normal. You know, I've been on TV all my life, so it's nothing really new. It's exciting though. And it
What age did you start boxing?
I started boxing when I was 7.
Really? Mm-hmm. And what's it like to be on TV?
No?
No?
This guy just Don't look at the cameras.
Okay.
Yes, don't look at the cameras, man. What is it like to be on TV, man? Have any of y'all been on TV? I think not. That's why you sit in the No Jealous Fan Zone Inc. in these groups. But hopefully you enjoyed the source. Maybe I'll come back on later, or maybe I'll even go live at the parade, because today is the parade at 12. Boricua! Puerto Rican Day Parade out here in Brentwood, man. But this is the Source Experience. Dreams become reality when vision shines over the views. But hey, what do I know? You know, you do have options. What's going on, Coach? What we looking like? What we looking like, Coach?
Gave the audience 7 rounds of a boxing clinic.
That's right.
8th round, we took them out.
That's right. Yo, big, yo. Yo, John, over here. Over here. All right.
Yep. Yo, what's up? Joe Harris Boxing with the Source. Source Experience. But what do I know?
This is the Source Experience. The news by Shanewz. But what do I know?
Shout out Showtime Shanewz, y'all. This is Carmel and holla at me.
In the arena, look who I got. Ring girl.
Hi, Arena. Miss you, girls.
Hey. Thank you. There we go. Zaga. Slime Master.
Yo, man, shout out to Sauce Talk, man. We in books and shit now.
Oh, man. What's that feeling like, man? First press conference. You walking out, the people are noticing you, saying, yo, he's in that book. He's in that book, man. What's that feeling like, man?
You know, it feels good, man.
This is your boy Jamel Superfire Herring, and I'm with the best in the world, the best from Long Island, the Sauce Talk Podcast. Hey, we doing big things. Shout out to everybody out there in LI as well. Superfire, salute.
Yes, you know the vibe.
I ain't never had more people hate on me. I didn't even know they knew who I was. I didn't know you cared. You know how many people are lurking in your life, looking at every Facebook post, everything you do, but they won't comment and they won't press the like button, but they steady scrolling, just a bunch of scrollers.
Nice. 1, 2. Bring them back to the castle. Back to the castle. Yep. Move around. Yep.
Hey, you guys. A shout out to Sauce Talk Podcast. You guys enjoy it. It's a good one.
What really happened on that Thursday here at Augusta High School that led to Chris Wood's death? The fuck is that? Shit!
You know the vibes. Another day in the office. All-star right here. You know, another day in the office. School you. That's right. All-star. Braun. Yeah. Another day in the office. We just getting that work. Yeah. Road to Greatness, J Prince Boxing, Top Rank, ESPN. You know the vibes. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's sweating. Down, Narina. Down, Narina. I'm taking a video. You want to be famous? Run down. Like, subscribe, and hit that